Hello, this is Renee, and Tom and I are on the Ultimate World Cruise, and we just docked in St. John's, Newfoundland, Canada. And Tom and I plan on doing a food tasting tour today. Well, our version of local cuisine. We had originally planned a bike tour, but had to cancel it due to the itinerary change when we didn't stop in Nuuk, Greenland. As we pull into the harbor, the rain is coming down steadily. But the birds and people alike don't seem to mind. Have you ever found yourself in a place that just feels like it has stories to tell? Imagine stepping off a ship and walking into town where every corner holds a piece of history. St. John's is one of North America's oldest cities. And St. John's is no ordinary city. It was founded over 500 years ago. It's a place where the old world meets the new. This is the first permanent English settlement in North America, established in 1583 by Sir Humphrey Gilbert under the royal charter of Queen Elizabeth I. For centuries, it served as a strategic naval base and a natural harbor, offering refuge to fleets that sailed the treacherous North Atlantic. Once we were docked and cleared to leave the ship, the rain let up just a little bit. Our first stop, breakfast at Bagel Cafe, a local favorite known for its hearty meals and warm, welcoming atmosphere. The moment you step in, you're enveloped by a smell of freshly baked goods and a buzz of conversation. One thing we're going to have to get used to when we get off the ship is those prices that are in red. Our SeaPass card did not work here. The food was absolutely delicious, and we went off to our next stop. The first recorded European visit to St. John's was by John Cabot, who landed in Newfoundland in 1497. The harbor's strategic location quickly made it a focal point for fishing fleets from England, Spain, and Portugal in the early 1500s. We walked along Water Street, which is one of the oldest streets in North America, with a history that dates back to the early 16th century. Often referred to as the first street of the continent. The street has witnessed many significant events in the city's history, including the Great Fire of 1892, which destroyed most of downtown St. John's. Next, we located the Newfoundland National War Memorial. It is a tribute to the Newfoundlanders who served and died during World War I, World War II, the Korean War, and subsequent peacekeeping missions. It was unveiled on July 1, 1924. The memorial's location in St. John's is particularly significant as the city served as a major embarkation point for the troops during the World Wars. Many of the soldiers who went overseas never returned, making the memorial a place of deep reflection and remembrance for the families and descendants of those who served. Each year on July 1st, known locally as Memorial Day, a solemn ceremony is held at the site to honor the fallen. Next, we hit Tim Hortons, a Canadian classic that needs no introduction. It's all about the donuts. After our second breakfast of donuts, Tom and I took off on a hike to go to the local brewery, and it was about 2 miles away. Quidi Vidi is a quaint fishing village within St. John's, known for its charm and, of course, its beer. It has a history that predates even the city itself, with roots in the 17th century. Originally a settlement for European fishermen, it has evolved into a hub of craft brewing where the past and the present mingle over a cold pint. Quidi Vidi is nestled between rocky hills and the Atlantic Ocean, also referred to as the Gut due to its narrow fjord-like harbor. I thought this was the entrance into the brewery, but I was wrong. This is the entrance into the brewery. The brewery is one of the village's most famous modern landmarks, founded in 1996. It is particularly well known for the iceberg beer, which is brewed using water harvested from 20,000-year-old icebergs that drift down from Greenland and the Arctic. We had a great corner seat that we could look out the windows. We both ordered a flight to taste out the local beer. As we were sitting there, we discovered a waterfall across the way, so we thought we would check that out next. Before we got to the waterfalls, we passed Mallard Cottage. The cottage dates back to the early 19th century, making it one of the oldest wooden buildings in North America. The water for the waterfall comes from Quidi Vidi Lake. The water eventually flows through the harbor and out into the Atlantic Ocean. So it started to rain as we were standing there, so we called an Uber to go to our next local restaurant. And it actually was in a mall. So I got a hot dog and root beer at A&W Root Beer, and Tom got a pizza at Pizza Delight. After we ate our lunch and walked around, we headed back to the ship. We walked a little over 7 miles today. We headed back to the ship because all aboard is at 4:30. Or so we thought.
Sorry to burst into your cabins at this time of day, but I do have a very important message for all of you. Due to the weather conditions that is affecting the harbor entrance right now, and it's expected to get worse, it's already gusting to 35 knots. And for those of you that were on the open decks in the morning, you could see how narrow this entrance is. So after recommendations from the harbor pilots here, we have decided for an overnight in St. John's, and we will be departing at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. However, the good news is that this will not affect our arrival time into Halifax. We will just go a little bit faster to make up for the lost hours overnight, and our arrival time into Halifax will stay the same.
So with that, we left the ship and went to our favorite local cuisine for dinner. I got some poutine and it was delicious. We got to looking at the receipt, and Canada charges for sugar tax. On the way back, we got to see a rainbow. Our entertainment for the evening was Whitney Drake, the Royal Caribbean singer. The next morning, we sailed away at 8 a.m. We then went to the top-tier event to see how many people are on board. Make sure to like, subscribe, and ring that bell for more adventures from every corner of the globe. Here is our revised itinerary for the next 4 ports. Hey everyone, I'm thrilled to announce that my very first children's book is now published. Join Alphanet, or Al, our adventurous elephant, as he sets sails on an exciting journey across the seas. Can't wait for you all to meet Al and join him on his nautical adventures, and thank you all for your support, and I hope you and your little ones enjoy reading it as much as I enjoyed writing it. I'll leave a link in the description below.